What is up, folks? Welcome in. We're doing this live stream. We're using two live streaming softwares. So I'm going to see how this goes. I've tested it a lot. I spent about 3 hours yesterday trying to fix it. Unfortunately, I didn't go live because I just couldn't get it to work until really late at night. So here we are. Welcome in. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to be talking about the NFL draft and what could end up being the case with the Rams. I've been trying to go live now for 2 days. I've had all sorts of issues with Streamlabs, so I don't know, man. It's frustrating to say the least. So really do appreciate you guys being here, though. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. Everybody that joined last night. I felt really bad to waste your time. But I was on with Streamlabs for like an hour trying to figure it out, and they're like, yeah, we'll try and figure it out and all that. I'll tell you what happened. Essentially, they caused a problem by their new update. That's what happened. Their new update, everything was working entirely as smooth as it can be, and they dropped a new update, and it completely ruined my setup. It made it so basically all of my streams are not streaming in 60 frames, and they suggested I drop my frames. I'm not doing that. So, uh, nice, Alex. I like that there. That's, love that. So here's a little different, okay? We don't have, because it's not active on Streamlabs, I'm using Streamlabs to mirror my setup over to OBS. So because of that, I will not have as much as I like it, I will not have a view counter. View counter is not available. And I will not have a comment box because it doesn't detect there's a live stream. So there's no comment box. As far as I'm concerned, I am pretty sure, the stats below, like if you donate, I'm pretty sure that updates. But for the most part, I'm just trying to figure this whole thing out. We're using a different setup. This is what we will be using when we do the NFL draft stream, Alexis and I. So, at some point that's going to happen, which I can't wait for. But as of right now, this is what we're using. We'll see if Streamlabs ever figures it out, but I'm not going to test it this week. So I've had it. So yeah, we have this new little thing that I figured out how to do. I can highlight a comment. As you guys know, I like to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Engaging? I don't know, maybe? I think that's the word. I like to be very engaging. So it's going to be great that I can highlight comments and things like that. Oh, okay. I should probably move that then. Thank you for donating, by the way. Really appreciate that, Ruiz. I'll move that up. There we go. Yeah, so actually I'll probably move that over here. That'll work. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so really do appreciate you donating. Appreciate you guys being here. The draft trailer is epic. I love it. I absolutely love it. The memes are amazing. I absolutely love the draft trailer. And yes, we did get the stream fixed. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So, all right. Now that we've talked about it, for a minute now, let's just dive in, okay? I got some news for you. If you guys aren't aware, I have just taken on the exclusive role to be the Rams, I guess, I want to say content creator, but that's not doing it justice. There's this new app. It's a startup called Callin. If you guys have never heard of it, it's a startup, and so I get it. But Callin is so awesome because if you've ever used Twitter Spaces, if you've ever used any of that, Twitter Spaces essentially allows you and I to talk via the phone. Just on Twitter, the app, it's like a phone, you just do audio chat, right? And I could bring in, I think, 8 people. Well, Callin is kind of similar to that, except Callin allows you to have somewhat of a radio show. So I'm proud to announce that I have signed an exclusive deal with Callin to be the official Rams host of the new Rams show that is coming to Callin, and it's starting tomorrow. So breaking news here right on the channel, if you guys don't already know, tomorrow will be the debut of Rams Edge, which is essentially unlike any Rams content that you've ever consumed. It's not necessarily JE Live. It's not necessarily Downtown Rams or anything you've heard. It's not necessarily even Spaces. The thing with this is that it is going to be a live stream of basically live radio, where we're going to talk for however long we talk. I'm going to bring on guests. Any of you are welcome. It's going to be 3 times a week. And Rams Edge is going to be me talking like I am now, but also bringing on you guys. So it's going to be a full-on kind of groundbreaking engagement podcast radio show. I don't think anything like this has been attempted, so I'm excited to call in. I'm excited to, share that with you. I am going to be dropping a link. The call-in app is awesome. I highly recommend you guys check it out, but I actually already have my show up. I don't have a logo yet, so it is just Aaron Donald celebrating winning the Super Bowl. I hope that suffices. But I'm really excited because I start tomorrow. Essentially, it is 100% free. 100% free. So I know that was the question I was just asked, but it's got live chat, but it's also got live audio. So you guys can come on in, and basically it's as dope as it sounds. You join in, it's like a Spaces, but it saves, and it actually gets uploaded as a podcast. So you can, if you ever miss them, you can listen to them. I signed on for a deal that is going to last 6 months. We'll see, obviously the future, we'll see how far it goes. But 6 months, and during those 6 months, every single week, I will give you Rams only. Rams content only. 3 times a week. 3 shows. 3 different days. So I know you guys who have wanted the Rams content to drop. I know some of you have not been a fan of the other content that I put out. This is for you. Essentially, YouTube's not going anywhere. I'm going to continue doing my YouTube videos, continue doing my live streams. It is an extension of that, though. Because what's going to happen is tomorrow, when I drop my second mock draft of the year, Rams-centric mock draft, when I drop that, at the end of that stream, I'm going to drop the link to that stream, the call-in, link, and you guys can come on over and we could talk extra. So we'll talk about the mock draft, we could talk about whatever, but everything is Rams. So how about that? I'm really hyped about this. I cannot wait to get started tomorrow. I'm dropping the link right now. You guys can go right on over to that. I'll also put it in the description, folks. That way you guys know. So let's see here. I'm just going to put it right in there. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Appreciate you guys subscribing. And I think I am going to move that chat. Let's move that over here. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm hyped. A lot of stuff's going on. I guess it doesn't do links. Anyway. Appreciate you guys. Let's see here. I got to catch up on this. Drop the link to download the app. Yes, the link is there. Be sure to hit that thing, and you can actually subscribe right now to the show, Rams Edge. We got 5 subscribers. Would love to get that thing going. And you can also follow me. My host account is below. But I am super stoked because I can do everything. I can do this. I can do call-in. I can do Downtown Rams podcast. Everything is its own thing. So, as you guys know, I like doing multiple things. I still write, everything is such. So, still write for the game day, all of that. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Who do I want the Rams to get in the 2022 NFL Draft? Well, that is a very broad question. A good one, but a broad one. So that is hard for me to truly answer because I could say multiple upon multiple guys. Right now, if I could take any realistic guy, I kind of find myself leaning towards Pierre Strong, which does also have some sort of implication on the title. I think the Rams are going to take a running back. And I think they're going to take one higher than I initially had them taking in the first mock draft. And I also don't think Devontae Price would even make it. I don't think he would make it to their 6th round pick like I had in the original mock draft. So, with that said, I think Pierre Strong has it all. I think he's a very capable back. You know, you look at a 3-down role. Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, Xavier Jones, Raymond Calais, Jake Funk. It doesn't matter what name of those guys that you mention, they've all had injury concerns. And I like all of them to a degree. But Cam Akers is coming off, a serious Achilles injury. Looked pretty good against the Cardinals. Didn't really look all that good afterwards. So we'll see in that regard. You look at Darrell Henderson. Henderson has had a hard time staying healthy. I don't think the Rams are going to sign Sony Michel. I think they truly want to go running back in this. And I can tell you right now, Pierre Strong has already met with the Rams. He's met with them a couple times, I think he told us. So, Pierre Strong is a guy at South Dakota State, I think has that home run hitting ability. He's great in between the tackles, but he can also run outside zone. And I think this is somebody that can help you in the passing game as well as he can pass protect. And I think that's really important there. If you have an all-around guy, those guys turn into, the top rushers, not the guys that can do one thing and only one thing. So before you ask, Pierre Strong, will he be there? I don't know, but I think there's a chance he will. And I'm not saying I 100% want them to pick him at 104, but that's kind of the guy that I really like. And I'll say this. If they pick him at 104, don't be surprised if he ends up being the Rams' go-to back. Don't be surprised if he supplants Cam Akers. If they draft him at 104, that's going to say a lot about where they feel like Cam Akers is from the injury. But here's why I want to open up your mind to this. Because you have Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor. You have these guys that are getting drafted in day 2, and they end up being more productive than the day 1 running backs. I think there is a big chance the Rams draft early on. And for those of you that want James Cook, no offense to, the James Cook fans, I didn't see it on tape. I saw a guy that has a lot of skill, as far as, ball carrier. I know he met with the Rams. He's got that receiving ability. He's explosive, but he doesn't really break tackles. He is really a receiver. He's not really a running back, and he's not a 3-down guy that I can depend on. If you had Cam Akers and you had Darrell Henderson and they were fully healthy and you never had to worry about their health, and you added a James Cook to that, oh yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Because James Cook would be a gadget guy for them, and he would help them as, that third option. The problem is you don't have a consistent guarantee. There's a lot of question marks. Obviously, if Cam stays healthy, you have a stud at running back. Obviously, if Darrell Henderson stays healthy, you have a stud at running back. But you just can't count on that. Not at that position where you're getting hit every single down. So at the end of the day, I came to the idea that, they're going to draft a running back earlier. And I don't think it's going to be a James Cook. I think it's going to be a guy like Pierre Strong, maybe a Jerome Ford. Those two I had running back 2 and 3 back-to-back. Zamir White, I think, is another one. They want to get a guy that's going to be able to take the punishment of the game. And I think, those guys can. You want guys that can stay on the field for all 3 downs. That is imperative. That is what the Rams are going to target, I think. It's why, Devontae Price, I still wouldn't rule out. He ended up being my running back number 10 in the draft. I'm a big fan of his game, as you guys know. I think he's kind of a poor man's Gurley in a sense, but, there's a lot of options there for the Rams. It's not the biggest running back class ever, but it's a really good one for where the Rams are picking. So kind of just, going way off in a tangent at the end of the day, SG, I would probably go with Pierre Strong. I really think it will work too. Can 49er fans also click the link? Absolutely. I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. I can still click on that link. Yes, you can. Do you think they will draft a quarterback like Ritter and Garbers? JJ, I like what you're saying there. I like them both. Obviously, Ritter's my number one quarterback in this draft, and Garbers ends up at QB7 for me. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did. They would have to fall, big time. They did meet with Malik Willis at the combine. Obviously, they're not going to get him, but it's worth mentioning that they met with him. I don't think it's this draft. I think maybe next or the draft after that, they start looking long-term at quarterback and having him sit, 3 years or so behind Stafford. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see. God, Jake, congratulations on your new podcast. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Paul. Yes, 49er fans are allowed. Jake, are you a USC fan? I like USC as well, yes. What are the chances a good year for USC with the new players and coaching staff? I think it's going to be a really good year for USC. They may not win a national title, but, I'm a really big believer in what Lincoln Riley can do, so I'm excited for that. I like your Spider-Man head, your Michael Myers head with the LA Rams hat also, your Rams helmet. Appreciate that. I don't think James Cook falls to us, but I would love to have him. He reminds me of Kamara. They're similar in their receiving ability, but Kamara does a better job of breaking tackles with his functional strength. I think that's the thing that I'm getting at here. James Cook is not big. He's about like 188, I think, like around that 190. He's not going to break those tackles and slip those tackles like Kamara. I would like him to be a little more slippery in space and break those tackles if I was spending that premium of a pick on him. But, we'll see what they do. I know they met with him and they like him. He seems to be a fan favorite right off the rip. Let's see. I just want the Rams to restore the horns on the helmet. Running back, pretty deep. Some nice late round prospects. I agree with you there. There's a ton. Again, it's not the biggest draft ever, but it's a pretty good running back draft. I don't know why it's getting some of the hate it has been getting. Jake, do you think the Raiders trade Waller to Green Bay? I'm not buying that. Jake, are the Rams interested in Kobe Bryant in the draft? That I don't know. I haven't seen that they met with him. I'm sure they have to be interested in, his skill set and, the guy that he is. I mean, I'm sure they're interested, but I don't know. I can't confirm that they are, if that makes sense. At least picking a running back makes sense due to the lack of depth of the position versus if we draft another wide receiver, we're stunning the development of guys like Tutu and Jacob Harris. Couldn't have said it better myself, Alex. I mean, I think really I'd be in a predicament if the Rams did draft a wide receiver and they got Alec Price with that pick. I'd be in a predicament here because I don't think it makes sense to draft another receiver unless it's way late that can offer, special teams upside. But at the same time, I think Alec Pierce is an absolute stud, and I don't know, man. That I'd be in a tough one there, and Alexis would give me so much crap for it too because she does not want one. We honestly need a cornerback more. Yeah, it's a matter though. We don't really know, like, how do they view these corners? That is really the question there. How do they view these corners? I think they're pretty high on David Long. I know they're very high on Robert Rochelle. So I guess it depends. You need to get a corner, but I don't know how early they're going to draft one. Jake, do you see tight end being addressed in this draft? I could see it. I was looking. I actually created. What was it? I created a list. I'm going to look it up now of guys that I felt the Rams could draft. And one of those guys on the tight end list, I think, let's see here. Yeah, I had Daniel Bellinger, Garrett Prince, Jake Ferguson, Chig Okonkwo, and Amani Rogers. I spelled that wrong. So Cole Turner out of Nevada also intrigues me as well. Daniel Bellinger, I think, is the best of that group out of San Diego State. Garrett Prince out of UAB is somebody I think he's just going to run by everybody. I don't think he's getting enough credit in this process. Jake Ferguson, I think, is like, a plug and play, second tight end. Then you have Chig Okonkwo, who really is just everything. He's not really a tight end. He's more like a fullback, but like he's like a Swiss Army knife type. And then you have Amani Rogers, who is a quarterback. who would be, transferring his position to tight end. He's never played tight end, but the reason I like him is because at those senior, those All-Star games, at the All-Star game he was at, I think it was the Shrine Bowl, but I'm not entirely sure. They had him running routes, and he just looked amazing. Like, this guy looked like he had been running routes forever. I was looking at some of the film clips from those, and I was like, holy hell, this guy could be really good. I couldn't put him really high on my board because of it, because he's never played the tight end position before. But man, can that guy run routes. And he wasn't that bad in blocking situations either at those at the practices. So that's a guy that I could definitely go for, Amani Rogers. More weapons, don't have a problem with that. Wouldn't be surprised we grab another wide receiver early as well. Yeah, nothing will surprise me that the Rams do. Nothing. There's nothing that they could do that would surprise me. What's up, Nolan? Well, we're doing well now. I missed you guys. I had separation anxiety because I basically couldn't stream. Like, that was really hard. So I'm glad I figured it out. Jake, do you know when the Rams will re-sign McVay and Snead? I do not, but that's a good question. Get them likes up, people. Yes, please do. It really does help me out. We have 50 people in here. Let's see if we can get those likes up. Also, be sure to hit the link. We have a link, of course, for the Rams Edge show, which I will be hosting. You are welcome to join at any point. So be sure to hit up that link as well. We got 8 subscribers. Let's keep getting those subscribers up. We have 0 episodes because we're dropping our first episode tomorrow. So check that out when you get a chance. Brian Robinson, big back. I like Brian Robinson. I'm a fan of Alabama, so I watched a lot of Brian Robinson. I like his game. He did not grade out as high as I thought he would have. I think there are some other guys that do more. But what I would say is that when you look at Brian Robinson, he's got a role in the NFL. I would not be surprised if he ends up being a lot better in the NFL if he goes to the right situation. Because my only concern with the Alabama running backs, what are you going to get? Are you going to get Derrick Henry or are you going to get Bo Scarborough? And I like Bo. I watched Bo. But he didn't end up being Derrick Henry or even close. And those bigger backs, like the way they're built, they've been hit or miss. And I feel like the NFL is kind of going more towards the Eli Mitchell route, looking at guys like that can do it all and are more compact. And I think that's really what you're getting out of a guy like Pierre Strong, Jerome Ford. Ford doesn't have the 40 time that Pierre Strong has, but he's definitely a very well-built running back. I don't know why he's not getting talked about at Cincinnati. I was a big fan of Javian Hawkins, who's still on the Rams, I believe. And he came out of Cincinnati. And I would say Jerome Ford is a lot better than Javian Hawkins. I will say that right now. Hawkins was faster. Hawkins was flashier. But Jerome Ford just has this consistency that he continues to truck along. He's got great pad level. This is somebody that's going to break tackles, make men miss. He's going to, stick his face right in the fan, in the face of pressure, and be a real brute in the pass protection area. And he's got some decent receiving ability. So I think this is somebody that doesn't get enough credit. I don't know why no one's talking about him, but Jerome Ford at Cincinnati, you have my heart, man. You have my heart. RB2. Don't apologize for the tangents. We love them. It's one of the reasons we are here. I appreciate that because, man, do I feel like I go off on a tangent a lot. All right. Anyway, I appreciate that. Let's see. Who is the... What kind of question is this? I was just, selecting stuff, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. Rams are teasing us with the possibility of pulling off a heist on the draft, according to the trailer on the clock. Yeah, what does that mean? Like, I was looking at it, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, are they telling us something? Like, are we missing something here? Like, is there a hidden message behind this? Like, this isn't just fun and games and funny. Like, are we about to get, like, some blockbuster trade? I don't know. Kevin Harris. I thought he was solid. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't blown away by his film, but I thought he was solid. Heard it from you first. I got you, Ashton. How do you feel about the Rams taking Abram Smith? He reminds me of a Sony Michel sort of player. I was a little lower on Abram Smith, I would say. I have him as 7th round, close to undrafted. I mean, in the 7th round, I guess. But I do. It gets to be the point is like it gets to be at that level where you're talking about guys that I don't know if I like them more than Xavier Jones or Raymond Calais or Jake Funk, you know. And I think if they go running back, I'd like them to get somebody that's going to be an upgrade over those guys, not somebody that's going to be on that same level or less. So, me personally, I wouldn't really want that, but I hear you there. Jake, I heard the Rams offered OBJ contracts. Now the other, when he is healed better with more incentive in years, I can't confirm on that. I have not heard that, so I can't confirm, but I mean, I won't rule it out. I just, I haven't heard from anybody that I know personally that has been saying that. Any of my sources, just, it's been quiet on that end. Who's the most intimidating player on the Rams? Aaron Donald. Steal the draft. Cornerback could be like last year's O-line. Fans just don't see what the staff does, so it's hard to know. It's true. It's very true. That's a great point. What's up, P-Train? I like BPA. And when you're, reigning Super Bowl champions, BPA makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, right. I know. I feel that. What's up, Pineapples? Streamlabs was straight up hating. I mean, let's be real here. Let's see. Yeah, Jacob Harris is moving outside. He's not going to play tight end, so I think that's why that they would consider that. This is a good one. So Rachaad White was a fun eval for me. I don't know what it is with Arizona State running backs, but he comes from the same place that Kalen Ballage was at, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Ballage. I think he's not as tall, but I think he's built as well. And this is somebody I think is just as good of a receiver as Ballage. He came in my top 10 at running back. I think he was number 9 on my list behind, I think Devontae Price was 10. So I really like Rachaad White. I think that would be a good pickup, maybe in the 4th or 5th. I think they could steal him. I think a lot of these guys are going to fall. I think the running back position is going to be underrated, and I think a lot of these guys are going to fall. And I think they're going to have an opportunity to snag a guy like that in the 5th. Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, as long as everything goes as the way I feel it's going to, yeah, I would definitely be down to franchise tag. You're funny. I could see that. Wouldn't rule that out. Yeah, my man Bo. I loved him in college, but he didn't do much in the NFL. Although he had a couple of those games where if you played him in DFS, he could win you some money. But, back when he was on the Lions. But, yeah, poor guy. Thibodeau to the Rams. That would be the dream, huh? I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only thing I was a little surprised with is, like, throughout McVay's tenure is that they didn't draft George Kittle. Like, if you could take any player that has come out of the draft and said that's a Sean McVay player other than Cooper Kupp, it's George freaking Kittle. Are you kidding me? That is the embodiment of what Sean McVay wants in his offense. I was blown away that they chose Gerald Everett over him. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe the guy fell to the 5th round. I will never get over that. Do you see the Rams not really addressing secondary in the draft? Feel more comfortable signing veteran? I don't know about that. I think that there's pretty good chance, I think, that they do. Yeah, let's get more like that. That they do end up taking a corner, late round safety. Keep in mind, you got Rapp, who's going to be a free agent. The year after that, you got Burgess and Fuller. I mean, you got to always keep those in mind, I guess. So, I don't know. I think they're gonna draft a corner. When was I on the Pat McAfee show? Is that real? Like, did he show a clip of me or like a tweet? I didn't even know that. Hopefully it's real. I don't know if it is. Hey Jake, do you think that if Goff would have won the Super Bowl, they would still make the trade for Stafford? I don't think so, actually. I'll be honest with you. I know everything, can change and all that, but I think the Rams would have stuck by Jared Goff if they won that Super Bowl. Yeah, I definitely think so. Guys, be sure to get the thumbs up, those likes in. We have 28, we have 75 people live. Let's keep those going. Let's get those thumbs up. Would really help the channel, the algorithm, etc. Christian Watson is an absolute freak show. He is incredible. He's 6'5", runs a 4.3. He's just a freak. And I think he does a great job of not only, taking the top off of defenses, stacking DBs, but I think he's got good hands. He's got ups for sure. He can get up and high point the football. He does a good job of using his length and on top of it, using his overall body structure to box out defenders like he's a power forward trying to get, the basketball in basketball. So I love, when a big receiver knows how to use that body and work, the box out. I think he's an underrated route runner, great after the catch. I loved Christian Watson. That tape was fun, man. That was good tape. Trades up in the first round. Yeah, I doubt it. I'm not going to assume they do. We'll just say that. What's the score right now? They're up 1-0. Oh, it's 2-2 in the third. Yeah, I mean, if they lose tonight against Dallas, I'll be honest with you, if they don't win the game before overtime, like, they can't even let Dallas get a point. Like, they're done. They got to win outright. They got to win in regulation to get those 2 points and have Dallas get none. Yeah, that's funny. I wonder if they had Kevin Feige put together a story behind it. Probably not, but I just think it'd be funny if they did. That guy knows how to tell stories and make stuff up. Do we make anything of Stafford recently saying he's been in contact with OBJ lately and hope he gets to continue to work with him? Also, OBJ is selling his Cleveland home. I don't put too much into that. I always said homes never, there are guys that sell homes all the time. Cooper Kupp just sold his home in LA. So, I mean, it's not like he's leaving LA. So, I never really looked too much into that. But interesting, though. That's interesting. I think the Rams should go after Malcolm Brown type of back because some of the red zone issues can't always throw it up to Kupp or A-Rob. I agree. However, I think the majority of the guys, so my short list for the Rams, I talked about tight end, but at running back, I have Pierre Strong, Jerome Ford, Zamir White, Rashad White, and Devontae Price. I don't think he'll be there, but I think Kyron Williams would be interesting, and Ty Chandler. Those guys are all in my top 11. And the way I see it is all of them have a knack for finding the end zone. They have a nose for the end zone. Pierre Strong, and he's got the home run hitting ability. You got Jerome Ford. He doesn't have the speed that, Pierre Strong has, but, again, nose for the end zone. Zamir White, obvious nose for the end zone. Rashad White, Price, Kyron Williams, I think, offers a little bit of everything. He's not overly fast, and I think there's a chance the Rams pass on him because of that if he's there. But the Notre Dame running back came in as RB4 for me. I know Alexis has him as RB1. She absolutely loves Kyron Williams. And then Ty Chandler out of UNC is somebody that I think can really help you out as well. So I don't know if the Malcolm Brown back, I mean, finding a nose for the end zone, I think those are the guys in the draft that they'll target, but also have, a little bit of everything. You want guys that can play all three downs. You don't want to have to take a guy out because he doesn't know how to pass protect. And Cam Akers, love him to death, but Cam Akers still struggles in pass protection. We saw that in the Super Bowl. He basically blocked Andrew Whitworth. So don't forget about that. That's a real thing. Uh, avocado ice cream. I've had it before. It's kind of weird, to say the least. Um, let's see. I didn't know OBJ was selling that Cleveland spot. Wow. Okay, so I think the guy going number one overall is going to be Trayvon Walker or Trevon Walker. He is awesome, but he is my third edge defender on the board. I think Kayvon Thibodeau is by far the best player in this draft. I don't know why we're pretending he's not. I don't know why he's falling down boards. I've seen mock drafts having him like barely making the top 10. This guy is special. He's day one going to be a Pro Bowler. 15 to 20 sack potential. I mean, he really is going to be a problem at the next level. So I guess I just don't really see why, why are people not giving him his credit? If the Jets get him and then they trade their 10th pick, for Debo Samuel, I'd say that they did a really nice job, but we'll see. But that's who I would have at number one. Trevon Walker. If I was drafting, I would take Thibodeau. I think it'll be Walker or Hutchinson, but I lean Walker just because Jacksonville, they're not going to trade out of the pick, and that's confirmed. There's just not enough interest because there's no quarterback worth taking there. But also, Jacksonville ended up tagging Cam Robinson. They have Walker Little. They have Jawan Taylor. Those are three starting caliber tackles. So they're not going to get Ekwonu, who I thought that they could go after, but when they tagged Cam Robinson, that was kind of strange. Ekwonu is definitely worth the number one selection. I would take Thibodeau, but I think it's going to be Trevon Walker at the end of the day. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't know how you find one. Paul. 80s just don't grow on trees. So I mean, we'll see what they do, but I'm not overly confident they're going to be able to find somebody like that. Yeah, I think that makes sense. AZZA. I think when you look at the needs of the Rams, I mean, do you want to go with Shelton at right guard? You could. I'm not against it, but I mean, if you have a chance to go out and get, a Chasen Hines out of LSU, or a Lacita Smith or a Tyler Smith or somebody like that, then you probably go with them over those, over Coleman Shelton, and have Coleman Shelton be your Johnny on the spot at center. Because look, Brian Allen has had an issue staying healthy. It's smart to have a guy like Coleman Shelton who's that good as your backup. But playing right guard might not be his strength. He's not going to get enough push. He's not a mauler. I'd like to get a true mauling guard that is just tribal in his approach. And I think you're getting that out of guys like Kinnard, who won't be there. Lacita Smith, of course, among others. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be Coleman Shelton. I know Tremaine Ankrum is in there as well. Wouldn't mind them going early on with guard either. It's got to be the right guy, though. There are some guys where if they, reached on, I'd be a little annoyed. But yeah, I wouldn't be against it, though. Yes, he is. 100%. Yes, please hit the like button. Really do appreciate you guys. No news on the Honey Badger, which doesn't surprise me because the draft is here and we probably won't know about that until after. At least a little bit after, right? So, yep, right there. Yeah, he'll sign with Tampa or he'll retire, but I think he's going to sign with Tampa. I liked Nick Scott and his recon role. That was kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. Johnny, coach, thank you. Appreciate you donating. Really does help me out. Uh, steal of the draft, man. Who would you trade up for in the first round, though? You know, I can't even imagine. There's got to be somebody that, like, if they were to trade up in the first round, they would have to absolutely love them. Like, they'd have to have a higher grade on him than Cooper Kupp. I don't know. Yes, I do. I actually cover. It's been hard this week because of the streaming. I use the streaming, of course. I use the streaming software to record my videos. Now I do, and the NFL draft. But I cover the Breakers. I mean, that game this past weekend was awesome. Love seeing my guy Kyle do his thing. The MVP of the USFL. I was saying before the season, he has to stay healthy. He's getting banged up left and right, but Kyle Sloter is making a case for the NFL. He's already been in it, but he's making a case to get a real shot in the NFL. Snead did mention he'd not let a Bobby type of player go if it was a strong conviction. Oh Lord, yeah, that's right. Let's see. This is a good one. I want to talk about this. What do you guys think? Because, like, for me, I like Robert Quinn a ton. I have like 3 Robert Quinn jerseys. I loved him in St. Louis. Loved him in LA. He was there for a year. 2 years, actually, because he was there for McVay. Would they bring Quinn in? I kind of feel like that is a legit option. I feel like there's a chance they could. I don't know if they would do it until mid-season or something, but I would not rule out Robert Quinn being a Ram again. They're trading Van? No way, dude. No chance they trade Van. Not after he was in that show. If they trade Van after they asked him to be part of that trailer, oh man, that is a bad look. That is brilliant. I like Jashawn Corbin from FSU. I think he's a very underrated back. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't think he tested well. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to go back and look at my spreadsheet, which is not open right now. Um, I don't think he tested well, but I really did like his tape. I thought he was an underrated guy that's not getting enough credit, in my opinion. Don't even joke about this. Man, I would be so upset. No, I knew who you were talking about. That would. Which team this year makes a head scratching first round pick? I would say whoever picks. This is a good one. Hmm. Huh. I would say if there's anybody that picks Sam Howell in the first round, that would be a head scratcher to me. Like, I can understand Matt Corral. I wouldn't pick him in the first round. I have a second round grade on him. I could understand it to a degree because Corral's upside, he was in a predominantly one read offense, a ton of read option, RPOs, things like that. I think he's got the pure talent to be a star in the NFL. It's just the big thing. Like, this draft has a lot of talent at the quarterback position. It's a weaker draft than what we're used to. Malik Willis has a chance to be an absolute star, but there are question marks in his game. I mean, is he a first round pick? I don't have anybody in the first round out of this draft. Ritter, I think, is the best one. I think Ritter, you're banking on the fact that this guy is very coachable. He's a winner. He took Cincinnati to the college football playoff. Let's just start right there. He took Cincinnati to the college football playoff. So you have that. You have the coachability. You have the decision making. This guy's a good decision maker. He's got good velocity on his throws. A good short and intermediate passer. Not the best deep ball thrower, but again, you can increase arm accuracy over time. And then I think the thing here that kind of goes without saying is his mobility. You talk about all these guys, and if you look at the RAS score, the relative athletic score for all of these pass rushers that are coming out of this draft, for the most part, they're all over 7, which is incredible. That's like 70th percentile, and they're like all over that. The top guys, I think there's about 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 that are all in the 9s. So that is 90 percentile in basic athletic score with that position. So you're talking about incredibly athletic pass rushers that are coming into the league. There's already plenty. It makes a lot of sense to have a mobile quarterback, and I think Ritter, because of that, is going to be coveted. And he was my number 1 quarterback in this draft. But then, like I said, Corral, he's got a lot of talent. He's got a killer arm, ton of velocity, good deep ball, can move. Obviously he's got mobility. He's a little shorter. I don't really care about size, as you guys know. Really have never cared about how small or how tall a quarterback is. That's all. Kyler Murray kind of debunked that. But my point is there's a lot of different talent. You have Carson Strong, who's probably the best thrower of the football in the draft. He can make every throw, but he is literally a statue in the pocket. He has a rare knee condition as well, which is a problem. And if medicals don't check out, this is somebody that's going to plummet down draft boards. Could even be an option for the Rams if he falls late enough and the Rams team doctors sign off on it. Carson Strong out of Nevada. You have Sam Howell, who is like a carbon copy. I mean, he even kind of looks like him, Baker Mayfield, carbon copy of him. So, there are definitely some guys that I think, even as much crap as Baker Mayfield may get, if he is Baker Mayfield, that's not the worst thing ever for a 2nd or 3rd round pick. So, I mean, there are definitely quarterbacks in this draft. I really like Garbers. We interviewed him out of Cal. I think this is somebody that has incredibly underrated, not only, poise in the pocket, his ability to step up, pocket presence, mobility, yada, yada. But on top of it, like he has the all-time rushing record for a quarterback in Cal history. I think you couple that mobility with his ability to hang in the pocket, step up in the pocket, create, and his deep ball, his accuracy, his leadership, and I think you got a pretty solid prospect in California's Chase Garbers. We really came away impressed with his interview as well. We were really excited to interview him. So I think that's another guy that I'd take a look at. There's some other guys, but those are some names there that I just wanted to throw out talking about the quarterbacks. I have a feeling there's going to be a handshake deal in place for a running back. That's interesting. The Steal the Draft video has me wondering what big thing is in the works. Interesting. Eating slow churned avocado ice cream for a snack is the most Brady shit ever. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Want to give Johnny that shout out again for donating. Really appreciate that. What are the odds of Nick Scott taking? I think Nick Scott is already the starter. Him being in that video says a lot. But they like him a lot. I mean, this is somebody that's really worked his way into the starting role. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't know who Josh Revis is. I'll have to look him up after the stream. Thank you, Nolan. Yeah, big fan of Lacidis. He was our first interview. He's a plug-and-play guard. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be better, but it does mean that he can come in right away and be the Rams' right guard this season. You look at his tape, Virginia Tech, he's really impressive. Guy can move. You're talking about, he's not just a phone booth type of guy. He can move outside, pull, get to the second level, combination block. He's got good anchor establishment, as far as in the pass protection area of his game. So I really like him a lot. He's definitely somebody that I would really like if the Rams were to go out and get. I'm not touching Adam Anderson with a 10-foot pole. I don't know what's going on with the legal stuff. I don't want to know. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm sorry. I'm sure, if he's not guilty of it, fine, but I'm not touching Adam Anderson with a 10-foot pole. As far as his tape, before I found out about, the rape cases and all of that, as far as his tape goes, you're talking about a guy that was probably going in the second round, maybe even the first. Very, very talented out of Georgia, but there are so many concerns I have there. Michael Clemens is a solid player, but Adam Anderson has incredible tape. I'm not trusting that. I'm not trusting that off the field stuff. It feels very Deshaun Watson-y, and I don't want to get anywhere near it. So that's just me personally. I understand people will give him his chance. I would not touch him with the 10-foot pole. I will say that right now. And let's put it this way. Lyle Collins fell to undrafted in his draft when he was clearly the best tackle in that draft by a country mile. Lyle Collins fell out of the draft, was undrafted because he was cooperating with authorities on the whereabouts or the death of his ex-girlfriend. Like, he didn't even do anything. He wasn't found guilty. There was no allegations. And just by him even being in that situation, teams were so scared they wouldn't even draft the number one offensive tackle in the draft, including the Rams, who had a huge need at tackle. That's all you need to know. So if he fell, of course, Adam Anderson, who didn't really, that whole thing, yeah, he's going to fall and probably go undrafted. It does take one team, but I could definitely see him falling out of the draft. Any Hawkeyes or Cyclones being of interest to the Rams in the draft? Charlie Kolar for the Cyclones. I think Iowa State's tight end. He's not the greatest blocker, but he's a guy that, you could use him as a designated red zone target. A receiving tight end, mainly receiving tight end. That is, I think that'd be a good bet. I think he'd be a good fit. I don't know if he'll be there, but he's a talented player. He ended up grading out as a top 6 tight end on my board, and I did really like him. So, Charlie Kolar, I would say there. Let's see. Debo should leave if the Niners aren't going to pay him, But, I don't know. I'm sure a team will take, they'll kick the tires on Earl Thomas, but I wouldn't bother with Earl Thomas for the Rams. You think Derek Stingley will be there at 32? That's interesting. Yes, it is. I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. I'm sure that probably, didn't have the best look, but I don't know. I love Robert Quinn. I'm never going to hold anything against him. I loved him. Exactly. Man, they're about to trade Van just because he had a Nikon instead of a Sony or man, come on, man. Nikon is outdated. You gotta go with a Sony or a Canon. Yep, it is. That Alexis and I were talking about that. Yeah, I definitely. Oh, if the Rams got the first overall pick, dude, I don't care what anyone says. It wouldn't be Aiden Hutchinson. It wouldn't be Trevon Walker. It would be Kayvon Thibodeau. Because he would be like having Von Miller. Good against the run. Motor does not stop running. I know that's a common theme. I know Nolan is going to know where I'm going with this. It's a common theme when you have this pass rusher that has been the number one pass rusher for this long time. It's this common theme where instantly, all of a sudden, you have these, not analysts, but you have people that are somewhat knowledgeable. They start passing around, just because they don't like him or whatever, they start passing around this garbage that this guy is, oh, well, he takes plays off. And so if you don't follow the draft and you don't watch the tape, you're going to assume Mr. Tape Grinder knows what he's talking about. So if you go on Twitter and you're like, you see, oh, Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't, he takes plays off. I guess you're going to assume Kayvon Thibodeau takes plays off. It's that echo chamber. He doesn't. It's a load of crap. Go and watch his tape. I'm telling you, not highlights. Go and watch like him versus a team. They're all on YouTube. There's other ways to get them, but you can find it on YouTube. Kayvon Thibodeau does not take plays off. I don't know where that narrative came from. I know it started with Myles Garrett. Actually, it started with Jadeveon Clowney, went to Myles Garrett. I'm tired of insert top edge defender here takes plays off. Like, that is the most regurgitated crap and narrative I always see every single year. There's always insert top prospect that is an edge rusher here takes plays off. Always. It never fails. It's like clockwork. But once again, you have people questioning his character. Is he a leader? Is he a culture change? Like, you're overrating this whole process if you're really going to dive into that. The guy doesn't take plays off. He's incredible. He's stout against the run. He is lethal as a pass rusher. Probably one of the highest grades I've ever given to a pass rusher. Thibodeau is the best player in this draft. Oh, God. Who cannot afford to miss on the draft picks? The Jets. This is the moment. They traded away Jamal Adams, which was a good move. But now they have to hit home on these picks. And you have a chance to acquire Deebo Samuel. Or if you don't acquire him, you could draft Jameson Williams. Or you could draft Sauce Gardner. Or you could draft Kayvon Thibodeau. Like, there are so many options. You could get a tackle. There's four really good ones. The Jets cannot miss. They have to hit on this because I think they are in position with this rookie contract, a good coach. I'm just saying, if the Jets keep doing what they're doing, they add a Sauce Gardner and Thibodeau to the team, or they add Deebo and Thibodeau or whatever, that team is going to get closer than people expected them to get this early on. I'll say that right now. I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, the Packers have more needs than wide receiver. So that's something to keep in mind. You made the message board 3 times? What is it, 4 times now? Oh, I got you. I thought you meant running back. I was like, what? Hell yeah. Let's see. I'm not saying they would take a quarterback, but I mean, if you have a guy, you have values to all these guys that you scout, right? And if they have higher values on these guys that fall, so say like, for instance, Carson Strong, his knee is just messed up to everybody else. And then the Rams training staff comes in and is like, you know what? The medicals weren't that bad. I don't know why he's there in the 6th round. Les, Sean, Demoff, Pastors, whoever. I'm going to sign off on this kid. If you want to draft him, I'm going to give you the go. Because if that's the case, then I think Carson Strong becomes your best quarterback aside from Stafford on the roster. Strong's a good quarterback. He's the best thrower of the football in this draft. His issue is that that's really it. Like, he isn't mobile at all. He's got a serious knee issue. It's why he dropped on my board. The tape is good. But he couldn't move. And he played. That knee condition could be the end of his career. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But if you Google it, Carson Strong knee, I'll do it right now. Sadly, I mean, it's always about his knee. It's probably the most Googled thing. It's called osteochondritis dissecans. Part of the cartilage in his knee had detached from the bone. Doctors used 8 biodegradable nails to reattach the cartilage. Some teams are going to be like, yeah, that's fine. Football's tough. It's a tough sport. Go right ahead. Draft him. Others may be like, nope. Not touching that. That is a recipe for disaster. We don't know how it's going to go. So, I mean, if he falls, that's a guy that I look, if the Rams, training staff thinks that, his medical's fine, because there are going to be teams that have higher grades on these guys than others. There's going to be medical teams that say, no, we don't take chances on guys like that. And then there's going to be teams that are like, yes, we take chances. Get this guy. He's worth it. That's the fun about the draft. What's up, Preston? I would. I don't think James Cook fits because I don't think they have a go-to back that is consistent and is going to stay healthy and isn't a question mark. I love Darrell Henderson, but again, I don't know, I can't trust any of them to stay healthy. James Cook is not a 3-down back, so he's more of like a scat guy. I wouldn't draft a scat guy that early. Wolford and Perkins are not good. Yes, Rams need a good backup. Hey now, I like them both. Perkins is a friend of the show. I like Perkins a lot. Wolford got me my first viral video, somewhat viral, on this channel. In some cases, my video on Wolford, coupled with the whole Star Wars thing, I mean, that was like the thing that kicked my channel off. But I hear you. And like I said, I think if Carson Strong is there, then they would consider that. I'd also say there are XFL quarterbacks that they'll consider. I mean, not XFL. USFL. I mean, I sound biased, but I mean, did you see Kyle Sloter on Sunday? There's a guy. Knows the system. Because say what you will about John Gruden, but he learned that complicated John Gruden system. Where do you think Sean McVay's system comes from? John Gruden. Already knows the system. He's playing, valuable reps in the USFL. He just won Offensive Player of the Week. This is somebody that actually spent time in Detroit. So, he's played with Stafford. There's familiarity there. I wouldn't rule that out either. I would love that. I do too. No update on the OBJ signing. Didn't blow me away on tape. I like Ebikidi a lot more. Nothing against him personally. I wasn't overly blown away. That would be nice. I'm going to go with 80%. You heard it here first. 80% chance the Rams trade down from 104 and they just decide, you know what? Screw day 1, screw day 2. We're going to have fun on day 3. And I think that's the right move. Because if you can acquire more picks, this makes a lot of sense. It's the second to last pick of the 3rd round. Okay? Second to last pick of the 3rd round. I'm not sitting here like, oh man, second to last pick of the 3rd round? Yeah, I definitely need to make a pick here. There's going to be guys. Unless that one guy falls that they're really looking at and they have like a 2nd or a 1st round grade on, I think they trade back. 20% certain that they don't, 80% certain they do. Probably. I mean, come on. All I saw the Nikon comments under the video, they're like, man, people still have Nikon cameras. That's why, HD. It's unreal. It really is. Ah, okay. All right. I see you. I mean, I don't know why that's the sponsor, but I hear you. I was like, well, I mean, ribs are pretty good. I don't know if they could rush the passer, though. Yeah, it's a rough one. Yes, please hit the like button. Would really appreciate it, folks. Um, I don't think Sony Michel would really replace Devonte Adams. Adams is a receiver, so their running backs are really good. You have AJ Dillon, you have Aaron Jones. So, and Kylan Hill, who got hurt, but I loved Kylan Hill in the draft. So, yeah, I don't think that they need a running back. Me neither. I can't wait either. I'm so excited. I am so excited. We just finished our last interview tonight. So this is it. It's this mock. I'll drop the rest of my top 10 rankings on Twitter that you guys have seen. And then we head on over to call in. So tomorrow, I'll figure out a time. But tomorrow, it's going to be the call in app following YouTube. So I'm going to go live on YouTube. I'm going to have my mock draft. When I finish my mock draft, I'm going to head right on over to call in. So I'm going to ask you guys to head on over to call in afterwards. Be sure to, of course, follow and subscribe to Rams Edge. We have 9 subscribers to the new show. Also be sure to follow the host. I have 9 subscriptions, 9 subscribers on the Rams Edge show. I think I have 7 or 8 on my regular. So we're starting from scratch, but just trying to get those people in there. Which teams need or would draft a linebacker? Off the top of my head, half the league, I would say, could use a linebacker. It's not the best linebacker draft. I would say right now Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean are probably the 2 best. Will they go in the first round? I don't know. I think, at least one of them will. But, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to really add to that. What's up, LA Rams? I mean, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I don't want Thibodeau to go anywhere near the Niners or the Seahawks or the Cardinals, or I don't want him in the NFC West. Um, I would say Wandale Robinson. I would say is somebody with his ability to make guys miss. Wandale Robinson could be a problem if he goes to an NFC West team. Another one I'll say, Sauce Gardner, if the Niners trade up, the Deebo Samuel trade potentially. Kyle Hamilton to a degree. I would also probably go with, I'd go with Alec Pierce as well. Big fan of his game. Wouldn't want to see him, going against him twice, And then the running backs, Pierre Strong, would not want him to go to the Niners or anybody like that. There's so many. I don't want Desmond Ridder to go to I just really like Desmond Ridder. Just like I like Trey Lance. I would prefer to be able to root for a guy like that. This is literally it. In a nutshell, this is what it's like. When you're the best defensive end or edge prospect entering the draft in a decade or whatever, it's always that. I mean, that's always the way it is. So, you know, man. It's a week after the draft. I know I missed that. I missed some other ones. I don't know why, but still, even though with this app and I'm able to select, I'm still missing comments. I'm trying my best, but I apologize for that. Um, let's see. Oh, what was your running back question? I might have answered it by now, but in case I didn't. I don't. There's not a running back like Todd Gurley in the draft. I would say, um, Devontae Price is like a really, really, really low quality Todd Gurley, and that's a good thing. You know, he's a really good player, not getting enough credit, but he's not Todd Gurley. Yes, agreed. Hit the like, yes, sir. Hit the like button. Thumbs up. Brick's got the like button. Yeah, I tend to disagree. I think they need to add another back to the mix. Maybe not pick them at 104, but I definitely think a running back makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. Big Bryce Perkins fan. Thank you. I hope I got your question. I can't remember if I hit it or not, but oh, draft night food? I got to be careful because I don't want to be in the bathroom the whole time, you know? But I'd probably go with a pizza. Um Not chips cuz I can eat pizza live. I can't eat chips live. I can't do that to you guys. I got a really good microphone that is going to pick up every little morsel, every little crunch of the potato chip. I'm not going to do that to you. Plus, my teeth will break because they're so sensitive right now. Um, I'd say that's it. I'd say pizza. Probably get together. Maybe a White Claw or a sour ale or something. But I think that'll probably be the move for Thursday. Friday could be the same thing, and Saturday we'll see. But I'm excited. Who would you like to see a running back the Rams will like to get in the draft? I mean Strong, Price, um, Ford. There are some. Those are some guys that I really would like. Rashad White is another one. There's a bunch actually, but yeah, yeah. I don't get it either, Nolan. I mean this guy has home run hitting ability. I think he's gonna be 1,000 yard receiver if he gets the opportunity. He's this year's Eli Mitchell and then some. I think he's a better version of Elijah Mitchell. So yeah, I really I don't get it either. I don't know why no one's talking about him. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, come on. You know I'm the guy that's like people ask me to make a spreadsheet. I make that said spreadsheet. So maybe at some point I'll create that list. Oh man, that is going to be a lot of work. Yep, I definitely think they get a running back. Yes, get the likes up. If the Rams make a head scratching pick with their first pick, I'm gonna need a mega pint. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna. I might too. That's hey. I mean, wings are great if you're not operating a bunch of really expensive machinery. Like I don't want sauce. Like, can you imagine that? Like, ugh, just like slip in and stuff. My God. No. That is and you'll hear the sliminess of wings. Like you'll hear like you'll see the glistening off the wing and you'll hear the sliminess. There's no way I'm eating wings live. That's not happening. I will not do that here cuz people do not like the sound of people chewing. That is not something I'm about to eat. No, no. No way. Great question. So it's going to be Alexis and I, our fourth straight year doing the Downtown Rams live stream. First year, she came to upstate New York. We were right here, in my home studio, and it wasn't the same. It really it wasn't. I mean, I didn't have a good camera. I used This is actually funny. I used a Logitech webcam, if you guys remember that. Oh man, the Logitech webcam days. I streamed on OBS. I tried to make my own ticker. My friend built this like overlay for me, which was really nice. Um, and yeah, I mean, we just we ate pizza and just hung out and had fun. Had the TV over there, so that was good. The next year was COVID, so because of that, we ended up doing. Or no, it wasn't. I don't think it was actually. Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was. So the next year was COVID. So we did Zoom. So we had a bunch of people, come on. I had my guy Cole Thompson, AJ Schulte, Devin Jackson. There were some others, Blaine, of course, Alexis, for the most part. I think Ben Larson. So we had, people come on. That was more Downtown Sports Network back when I was trying to get that thing going. And then 2021 was the live stream in the studio. And in the studio, we did a Downtown Rams AJ show live, kind of hybrid show. And I thought it went really well. Adam couldn't make night 2. He was there for night 1. So we did night 2 without him. And then night 3, he was there. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun. But I no longer have, I don't lease that office anymore. There's really no point. I have a really good home office. So I didn't need an office itself. So now, we're doing it this, and I really was trying to make it out to Chicago so we could do it at her place. The studio she has set up that we set up together last time I was there, but it just wasn't going to work out. So this time around, we're going to go back to doing it remote. We're not going to do it with Zoom this time. We're going to do it. I'm going to mirror over from StreamYard, and we're just going to do it like this. So I think it's going to be really good. But we'll see. Obviously, I need Streamlabs and OBS to work the right way in order for us to have a good time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So to answer that question, Alexis Kraft will be my co-host on that show all 3 days, and we'll be starting early before the draft. So I do want to throw that out there as well. Maiko Tacos for the LA vibe. Love it. Alexis is going to bless us with some Doritos crunching ASMR on draft night or what? I mean, I would hope so. Right? I mean, I would assume she's going to have an ASMR video. That would be 4 straight years, 4 straight ASMR videos. Jake, what's the best pass catching running back in the draft, best blocking running back in the draft, best tackling cornerback in the draft? Oh, okay. Best tackling cornerback. I tend to lean Sauce Gardner. I think he's the best all-around corner. I don't think there's anything he has an issue with. I think he's just incredible, and that's why he's CB1 for me. Moving on to the best blocking running back, I think it's far and away Kyren Williams. Don't look at the fact that he's only 5'8", 5'9", or whatever. We got to learn, right? We got to learn from the fact Darrell Henderson, everyone said, oh, he's too small. He can't block. Doesn't matter how small you are. Marshall Faulk was 5'10". He's one of the best blocking running backs of all time. So, yes, Kyren Williams is the best pass protecting running back by a mile. I think he's by far the best. I think he does everything extremely well. He's just not overly fast. So I think that's why he'll fall. But yes, he's the best blocker. And then pass catching running back, that is tough. I think it could be James Cook. I think it could be. I'd probably lean James Cook right now. And that's the thing. James Cook is a scat back. I'm not saying he's not good. But I think that they need a 3-down guy, and that's why I don't think he's much of a fit in that regard. If they had, like I said, if Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson were good to go and they were healthy, and you're adding James Cook and his pass-catching ability on top of that, that's one thing. But now you're trying to add a guy that could potentially have the value to take over for any of those guys should they get hurt or anything. I'm going to go with a no. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, Tutu Atwell is a friend of the show, so I'm not gonna knock him. I was very surprised. I told him straight up I was surprised he got drafted that high. So we already crossed that bridge. I was open to him. Um, but yeah. Oh, you're talking about Tyler Algier. Yeah, I like him. I liked him a lot more, and then I watched a bunch of prospects, and he just kept falling down my board. Nothing he did wrong. I just think it's something a lot of the other guys did right. It's a good class. Algier, I thought was going to be a top 10 running back for me. I still really like him, so I wouldn't mind him. Deepest positions in this year's draft. um, I think wide receiver is really deep, but I could probably look it up right now based on how my board is. Because, let's see. I have 43 draftable wide receivers with the potential to start. 43. Probably wide receiver, I would say, is the deepest. Edge is pretty deep, but I'd say wide receiver. Running back is deep too. Still go with wide receiver. Yes, I love winning time. Absolutely love winning time. Can't get enough of it. I hate when the episode's over. Just like I was just watching Barry, and I'm not used to the 30-minute episode. Oh man, I'm not. But I missed that show. I'm glad it's back. Yeah, the Yankees. Giving up that many runs was a little surprising to the Orioles. But Yankees are on a roll now. They've won 4 straight. Mega pint is a must. That'll be a good backdrop. Just a giant pint of beer. Dream pick at 104. That is tough. I haven't really narrowed it down to one guy. Pierre Strong is in that conversation. Alec Pierce is in that conversation. Uh if David Ojabo fell that far, I would that would be my dream pick, I think. If the Rams got David Ojabo at that pick because of the injury, that would be my dream pick. I think I could do that. Yeah, I'll do that at some point. Oh, really? That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad. We're just trying to keep pushing with the draft stream. Yeah. Yeah, they're killing it. Mets look really good. Dodgers not really surprising. I think mock drafts are just they're for fun, but also it's a good exercise. Um, I think it also helps when you are constantly looking at mock drafts and you're constantly putting together mock drafts. It helps you learn the players' names more. I have done no NFL mock drafts. I still have not done a 32 pick first round mock draft. I'll do one tonight. That'll be my first of the year. But in the past, I used to do so many. I would memorize the names in my head. And now I find myself having some brain fog when it comes to some of the names because I haven't done mock drafts and stuff like that. So, it's not saying you're not trying to predict everything right, but there's some prediction and projection going on as well in that regard. It's about time. I don't know. A guy's incredibly talented, but has been struggling as of late. Or not as of late, but in the recent part of not this week, but you get what I'm saying. What teams do you think have drafted well over the last few years, and what teams have been the worst? Well, I think teams like the Niners have drafted well. I think teams like the Ravens, the Broncos, teams that haven't drafted well, Seattle. I think Seattle has been the worst drafting team. They have been an absolute joke. So I don't think they've drafted well. No. I appreciate that, Garrett. We're excited to have you. We'll be doing kind of the same thing. We will have our comment box. I probably will have to calm down because I think right now I'm selecting a lot of the comments. I'm going to be very sparing with the comments because we're going to have a lot of people in here. So I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's comment. Just fair warning. But we will have the comment thing that I'm dropping. I like this more than the comment box. I don't know about you. I feel like it's more engaging. I feel like it highlights you. I like this more, but the most overhyped draft prospect. That is a good one. I mean, based on my rankings here, good question. I'm trying to figure that out. Based on my rankings, let's see. I think it's Breece Hall. Because there are people that are saying, like, oh, Breece Hall should go in the first. Breece Hall is an incredible athlete. Okay? He tested incredibly well. I have nothing against him personally. But Breece Hall, man, you got a 9.96 RAS. I don't see that on tape. I see a guy that has, when he hits the hole, and he's confident, and there's no, like, dancing or anything like that, he can be a threat. But I don't see him consistently playing with that dynamic ability. And yet I see a lot of people ranking him super high. I'd say another one. I'm going to say another one's Chris Olave. I think Chris Olave is a good receiver. He's a deep threat. He can take the top off defenses, stack DBs well. But he has no run after the catch ability. This is somebody that's not going to extend catches. So he has to go to a specific place or it's not going to work out for him. He has to be in like a Will Fuller role. He's just not a good yards after the catch guy. He doesn't set himself up well. Whereas Garrett Wilson, I think, does an incredible job of it. I think he's more well-rounded. Olave is a good route runner. I think Garrett Wilson is more of an aggressive route runner. I think he plays with more of aggression. I think his speed, he plays faster, not just faster like 40 time, but he like moves quicker. He's more sudden. He's more committed. Whereas I think in a long straight line, you like Olave down the field. But again, doesn't mean Olave's bad. I just don't see the first round talent that people are saying. I had him as a second round talent, and probably a mid second round at that. He's somebody, again, I like him. I think he definitely made my top 10. Wan'Dale Robinson really came close to pushing him out, but you know, at the end of the day, I think this is somebody that's going to give you that field stretching ability. So if you're looking for a deep threat downfield that can, you know, take the top off the defense, he makes sense. But if you're looking for a guy that is going to be your total package of taking the top off the defense, catching screens, and making, you know, something out of nothing, that's not your guy. Okay, like Olave is not going to help you in yards after the catch situations. He is not Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Cooper Kupp. He is not that. He is more like DJ Chark. He is more like Will Fuller, a guy that can stretch the field, a guy that can get vertical. You know, he's got good wide receiver size at, you know, 6 feet, 187. Not the best size, but good size. That's what he is. And if a team tries to fit him in a pre-existing pod that he does not fit into, it could get ugly. That is my thoughts, essentially, on, you know, Chris Olave. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's a bowling ball, right? You know, Algier runs well. I like him. He didn't end up in my top 10, but, you know, I have it right in front of me now. He ended up at 13. So behind Brian Robinson and Ty Chandler outside of the top 10. I like Algier a lot. I think he was underrated. I feel like somewhat I kind of am underrating him to a degree, but that's just the way it ended up working out for me. Who's the running back that you 100% don't want the Rams to take at 104? For me, it's Kyron Williams, but I'm open to anyone really. I think Williams' speed is a question mark, more than I originally thought it would be. I would say the one guy I don't want. By the way, we're not talking about Keontae Ingram enough out of USC, 5'11", 221-pound back. Kind of has a little bit of Ronald Jones to him, but I think he's more of a, he's kind of like a hybrid of him and like, I see some like Cedric Benson. I believe Cedric Benson passed away, so rest in peace to him. Used to love him at Texas, but, I think he kind of resembles like those two guys. So, I mean, he's not getting talked about enough. He ended up grading out as my 6th running back. I was really impressed with his abilities. I think I already mentioned, I mentioned Rashad White. So if there's one running back that I really don't want the Rams drafting at 104, it's James Cook. And I'm becoming the anti-James Cook guy. I have James Cook as my 17th prospect. I have a 4th round grade on him. Nyheim Hines is my player comp. I don't have many player comps, but I just can't stop looking at Nyheim Hines when I see James Cook. That's not a bad thing. Hines is one of the best scat backs in the league, but the point is, he's a scat back. And what do the Colts already have that allows them to pay a guy like Nyheim Hines? A capable starting star running back, a guy that stays healthy, a guy that has consistency, and a guy that they can count on. The Rams don't have that yet. So I don't think they can go out and get a guy that's going to be like Nyheim Hines when I think they need a 3-down back. Another comp, by the way, I forgot to throw this out there. Algier kind of runs a little bit like Edmonds, Chase Edmonds now with the Dolphins. I kind of see that. So, that's kind of what I would say there. Let's see. If we were to trade back, what would be the best trade package for that pick? I don't remember where they select, but Denver picks, I think, 111, 112. I think that would be the best trade package. It's a back-to-back pick. You get 2 picks in the 4th round. They move up to get into the 3rd round before the end of day 2. You get whoever you're dying to get there. I think it makes a lot of sense for Denver if they have a player in mind. But it's a heat of the moment thing. It's not a trade you'll see made before the draft. It's going to be one during the draft. The Rams are probably going to have a lot of opportunities to get rid of that pick. It's at the end of the night. Guys are falling. Teams are scrambling. I fell in love with this guy, but I pick here. He might not make it here. The Niners also have a pick after the Rams. There's a lot of stuff in play there. So I think that they will ultimately trade down. 80% positive they do. There's still that 20% that I think they won't. I didn't. That's cool. Let's see. Okay. I agree with you. I'm a huge Henderson fan. I mean, the issue is health. It's that simple. And the thing that's sad, Nolan, and I'm sure you already know this, anybody that knows this probably, whatever, but the thing that's sad about that is the scouts are doing their job. The coaches, I think, are doing their job. Well, for the most part, the scouts are doing their job, I would say. I don't know if the coaches are. The scouts are doing their job. But Pete Carroll continues. They have a plan, and then Pete Carroll comes in and is like, no, I want this guy. And so they listen to Pete Carroll and just draft the guy. It continues to happen. So, I guess it's fine, being, a Rams fan, but it's kind of sad for those guys that put in all that work and know what they're talking about, being, those scouts, so to speak. I agree. I like it a lot, although I should probably move that box down. There we go. I should probably sit up a little bit, right? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Right? I felt the same way. And I understand not everybody watches film. People watch highlights. I get it. People do that. It's not illegal. But I think the best way to get, a good broad picture on a guy's, his game, his overall game, knowing his strengths, his weaknesses, is watching the full tape. And if you're not watching the full tape with a guy like Breece Hall, and you're just watching highlights and you watch the combine and you're hearing about how he ran this and ran that, then yeah, you're not going to think he's bad. Or I don't think he's bad, but you're not going to think he's you're going to think he's the best running back in the draft the way he's being talked about. To me, it's Kenneth Walker the third out of Michigan State. I have a late first round grade on him. He's the only running back I would draft in the first round. I don't think it's close. I think it's a wide margin between him and Ford. I have Jerome Ford at RB2. Great point. I think the most important thing for me when evaluating a player is, there's a lot of context. So when you're watching film and say it's late in the game, it's fourth down, I want to see guys who step up in those moments, because those moments are like every play in the NFL compared to college. So if I have a running back that's not a good example. If I have an edge defender that is fourth down, end of the game, and he is just absolutely hands on his knees, just winded. And it's not it has nothing to do with conditioning. It's been a long game. It's been strenuous. They've been on the field a lot. He's got to get off the field. Okay, whatever. But if he stays in there and I see on that play, he's putting in 120%, I don't care if he makes the play or not. I'm going to mark that as a good rep for him. If I see that he's fighting and he tries to make the play and shows effort, it's late in the game. He's doing what he can. Dude has hands on his knees, about to puke. I mean, those things are, I think, really underrated and really important when evaluating a player, because you want to know that he can withstand the NFL pressure. And I think that's really important. Another thing here, and I'll actually go each position. So quarterback, let's start with quarterback. What do I look at? Important factor for quarterback. I want to see a guy that can look off defenders. I'm a big fan of that. I need to know that this guy can manipulate with his eyes. Manipulate defenders with his eyes. Throw guys open. Go through progressions. If I don't see that in college, sure, that can be taught in the NFL, but why am I going to draft a guy in the first round if he can't do that in college already? See what I'm saying? So that is a huge thing for me. I think an overrated thing is arm strength when it comes to, quarterback position. And I'm not talking about velocity. I'm talking about how deep you can throw the football. That stuff gets better over time if you work on it. Wrist action. Aaron Rodgers, perfect example. He did not have the arm he has today. I never cared about the long, he's got the deepest. It's great. He throws a huge deep ball, but he can't hit the broadside of a barn. I don't care how far he can throw. Running backs. I want to see a guy that can read quickly. He can read his blocks and he can just go. I don't want to see the hesitation, the dancing, all of that. No, hit the hole and go. Don't dance. When you dance in the background, that's not patience. That's you having unnecessary wasted motion. And not only does it tire you out, but on top of it, it makes you an easy target. If you're going laterally like this, if you're shuffling like this, you're not moving. There's no way to go from shuffle to a touchdown. You got to plant again, and then you got to explode. And that's the thing. So the shuffling doesn't help. I'm not overly a fan of it. That's something that I really don't like. The overrated thing about a running back prospect, I would say, is long speed. I do think that long speed matters, but if you don't have burst and you have, like, say you run a 4.3 40, right? But you have no short area explosiveness whatsoever. You have no burst. Then how are you going to get to that point? How are you going to get to the second level? If you can't get to the second level, then you're not going to, that's the issue. So I want to see you take off. That is a big thing for me, is the burst. The overrated factor is long speed. It's good to have, but it's not the end all be all. Wide receivers, big thing I look for. Run after the catch. Can you block? Can you do it all? Can you catch with hands? actual hands catcher, or are you going to catch with your body? Can you run routes? Do you set yourself up using ankle flexion properly to put yourself in a position following a catch to move upfield in a very critical and better way to get yards after the catch? Do you do that well? Do you hold on to the ball with when contact approaches? Are you a guy that just drops the ball every time anybody's near you, or do you hang on it and make the catch? Are you a good route runner? Do you create separation? Can you high point the football? A lot of things like that, and of course releases. One of the guys that had one of the best releases I've ever seen coming out of college was Michael Thomas. He would just absolutely school guys with his footwork off the line of scrimmage. Not Mike Thomas from the Rams. Michael Thomas at Ohio State now with the Saints. Everyone calls him Slant Boy, but I mean that guy has some of the best footwork off the line of scrimmage I've ever seen. So that is something that I'm also looking at. Tight ends, I think the overrated thing is speed, because I've seen guys that literally get taken off of boards because, oh, well, he ran a 4.9. Look, I don't care if he ran a 4.9. If the guy gets open, the guy blocks, he does everything you could ask for in a tight end, he has a role in the NFL. I'm not going to not draft a guy that has a role in the NFL. Speed is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean, 4.6 is fine. I understand guys are getting more athletic, and we've seen freak shows at tight end. Maybe not 4.4 Eric Ebron, but like 4.6 is fine for me. I think speed is overrated when it comes to the tight end spot. I think what's underrated is the ability to block. I think what's underrated is the ability to play multiple positions, whether you're the H-back, inline, out wide, big slot. I want to see how much that you can align. Can you get off the line of scrimmage? Are you physical? Are you soft? Like, I need to know that. So I think the overrated thing is speed there, but those things are the other thing. Offensive line, I'll just group center, guard, and tackle. I want to see footwork. I want to see hand usage. You have hands for a reason. Use them. I want to see that you can establish a good anchor in pass pro. And I want to see that you can be a mauler and have a tendency to go a little bit above and have an edginess and be nasty as a run blocker. I want you to be a run mauler, not a run blocker. I don't want you to do just enough. I want you to be a finisher. The most overrated thing, I think, is 40 time. Who cares what an offensive lineman runs running the 40? You're rarely going to see an offensive lineman run 40 yards. I want to know the 10-yard split, the 20-yard split. Those things matter. 40 does not. 40 does not matter for the offensive line. It's a cool little thing to add on to it, put in their cap, but no, it doesn't matter. All right, moving on, defensive line. I want to see a guy that has versatility. It's not the end-all be-all, but I like to know that he can play, any technique from the 0 to the 9 tech. I definitely find that very interesting, very intriguing. A guy that does that very well in this draft is Thomas Booker out of Stanford. You guys know I've talked about him. He was in my mock draft. So those are the things I look for in a defensive lineman: hand usage, countering, using leverage, contorting body, things along that nature. An underrated thing, or overrated thing, I think, when it comes to defensive line is, again, I think at the end of the day, most of the overrated stuff is going to be speed. You can still win without speed, especially defensive line. That's really not going to matter. 10-yard split is everything. You want that explosiveness, but it also isn't everything, because if you have that explosiveness, you still got to be able to know how to use it and not get stonewalled, which a lot of these guys do. They're crazy athletes. They get to the NFL and they get stonewalled at the point of attack. You want to see guys that can be able to use their power, have heavy hands, really make an impact, good footwork, and have the ability to not only, plug up the gaps if you're a defensive lineman, in the trenches, run supportive, but also rush the passer interior wise. I'm not asking you to be Aaron Donald, but you got to have something. Even Sebastian Joseph Day, who was predominantly a run stopping nose tackle, he developed some sort of pass rush at the end of his tenure with the Rams. So that's what I would say there. Linebacker, I really want you to be able to go sideline to sideline. It's lateral agility. Speed, it's good to have, but again, it's not everything. I want lateral agility. I want you to be able to, obviously read the quarterback, read what they're doing, be able to cover. I want you to have enough speed to be able to cover running backs. I'm not asking you to cover receivers, but cover running backs, cover tight ends. Um, just have the wherewithal to be able to go sideline to sideline, be a sure tackler. I think that's definitely important there. And not being afraid to really, stick your face in the fan as a linebacker and just go right into trash and, kind of separate it and go after the ball carrier, disengage from blocks. I think a lot of that is really important to play in the linebacker spot. Then corner, I want a guy that's able to mirror well, just like offensive line, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But corner, I want to see a guy that can mirror well. And what do I mean mirror? Obviously, you want to be a mirror of the wide receiver. It's obviously incredibly difficult to do. Some guys do it incredibly well. A guy that stands out to me that did it the best I've seen on tape is Jair Alexander coming out of Louisville. I just felt like he was a no-brainer selection, was a top 5 talent in that draft, and I think you saw it exhibited on film. The speed definitely matters at corner, so I'm not going to say that's overrated. I think physicality is a little overrated. You don't have to be a guy that is constantly in the guy's face, punching him at the line of scrimmage, pressing him. There are multiple ways to win, okay? The cornerback position, there are zone corners, there are press man corners, there are combination corners, there's slot, there's, boundary. I mean, there's so many different guys. There's guys that, are hybrid corner safeties. I mean, all sorts of guys. So you don't have to do one thing. I think it's a little overrated, the physicality aspect. I would rather have you not be physical, not have those unnecessary penalties, and just have good timing and knock the ball down when you need to. You have good, ability to mirror. You use the trail technique well. You have good ball skills. You have a good ability to time, when to jump and go up and make a play on the ball. That's what I look for in corners. And then safeties, I look for, really, I want a guy that can defend against the run, a run supportive safety, but I also want a guy that can also blitz, and I want a guy that is going to be able to, work, maybe even, with that. You talk about Eddie Jackson, I think did it the best back with Vic Fangio's defense with the Bears in 2017. I want to see a guy that's able to cover the whole length of the field. If he's playing single high safety, I want him to have that ability, that range to accommodate for that space and make it so, okay, I'm going to play single high. I'm going to put a corner here and a corner here. And if you try to throw, on either side, my corner doesn't even have to do his job because he's going to run with you while I have my safety basically fly over to one side of the field and cut it off. And we've seen that with Eddie Jackson. So those are the things I look for, in a safety. And then I guess for special teams, kicker, I just want accuracy. I think that's really important. And punter, I want a guy that's a directional punter. I don't really care too much about, the strength, the leg strength. I want leg speed, but I also want directional ability. Punt inside the 10. That's really the rule of thumb. It's not the 20, it's the 10. The NFL wants it inside the 10, so that's where you should punt it. And that's pretty much all I have there. But hopefully you guys like that little spiel I did on those. I'm running out of a voice after that, but you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah, that was a lot. Was it? I didn't even see what happened. Did Vegas win? Please tell me they won. And wow. Okay. They lost. Unbelievable. Pathetic. What just absolute pathetic. They really lost that game in a shootout. They're just pathetic, man. They don't deserve it. Oh well. I got the Rams and Jayhawks this year. I'm good. I would love Robert Quinn back. That would be awesome. I would rather have them not do that because I just don't think he's enough of a 3 down back, and I think that's what they need. Oh, I think I just answered that. I loved Trey Mason. I'm still bummed about that. Absolutely. I think that's what it was. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. I know, Alex. I saw that too. People act like Joseph Noteboom isn't like any good, and it's just mind-boggling to me. Debo Samuel. Seventh or undrafted. I don't think you should have to spend higher than a seventh pick. And if they don't get Jordan Stout, it's okay. This is the best punter draft in recent memory. You got all sorts of guys. You got Jordan Stout. You got Jake Carmada or Carmarda. I think it's Carmada. Yeah, I think it's Carmada. Ryan Stonehouse from Colorado State. Um, Blake Hayes. We've interviewed Stonehouse and Blake Hayes. I believe both met with the Rams. Actually, I want to say Ryan Stonehouse, I know, met with the Rams. He did a workout, and he has connections with Jay Camillus, so don't be surprised if he ends up going there. He had an 81-yard punt no one talked about against Vanderbilt. Um, that would be interesting. But like, why would the Titans do that? You know what I mean? I think the Titans would just rather pay the guy that they know. Problem is, yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, it did. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Same here. It's been way too long. Yeah, I mean, again, this is a kid. I'm not trying to hate on him. He's still in my top 10. But seeing him as he should go in the first round from some people, I just don't see it. And I'm not going to pretend that I do see it just to like look the part. That's never been me. Ever since I started doing this draft thing back in like 2012 or whatever. And I mean, let's be honest here. I wasn't doing it the way I'm doing it now, but that's when I started really like making my own rankings and stuff. I can't find those to save my life, and I don't know if I want to. But 2016 is when I actually got my rankings documented. Although I only have top tens for each position, I lost all the others because they were on a hard drive that is now dead on my old computer. The old, I don't even know what it was, NV7, HP NV7, I think it was. But yeah, so I have no chance of getting those. But my point is that actually I don't know why I was talking about that. But anyway, Brees Hall, it's not that I'm not rooting against him. I have a top 10 pick or top 10 running back. I just don't think he's a first round talent. That was really annoying because you look at a guy like that, he shouldn't be dancing in the backfield, but I hear you. He was a special team gunner, and then he went and played with Zach Taylor when he got the job. He went over with Zach Taylor. He's still with the Bengals. That's true. I'm there with you, Mike. Yeah, I am too. I really liked him. Could see it. Yeah, could definitely see it. I don't think Sony Michel's bad. I think the Rams just want something new. But he could be back. Who knows? I think they're going to draft somebody, but I do too. um, Brian Robinson, he could be a three down back. He has a shot. I don't know what kind of Brian Robinson we're going to get in the NFL, but I do like him. That's really to be expected when you win the Super Bowl, so no big deal. Christopher Allen, he's my 18th edge. I wasn't super high on him, even though I know I'm a Bama fan, but I liked him. I have a fourth round grade on him. I have a third round grade on Brian Robinson. He's right ahead of Algier. He's behind Ty Chandler and Price. I really like Robinson. I don't know if I would choose him over some of the guys that I have, but all right, guys, we finally got to the end of these comments. I wanted to finish all of them or hit on all the ones I could. Obviously YouTube wasn't letting me do it. So I'm gonna ask everyone before we get out of here, please, if you want to help me out, to hit up Rams Edge. I'm gonna drop the link again. Just go to this page. Let's see if it ever loads. So go to this page. It's not going to show for whatever reason, but go to the link. I'm going to pin it and hit the subscribe. I want to see these subscriptions going up because we are taking calls for our first show, Rams Edge, tomorrow. It's one of 3 for the week. It's weekly. I'm signed to a 6-month deal, so I'm bringing you nonstop Rams content, but we got to get this thing up. Only 9 subs? Come on now. Got to get you guys in there. If you ever wanted to ask me questions about the Rams, this is the place to do it. So, I mean, also on here, don't get me wrong. But tomorrow we're going to have our mock draft, our Rams mock draft with trades. Did I spoil that? I think I spoiled that. Oh, well. There's going to be a trade, potentially trades. We're going to have that. And then after that, right after that, we're going to head right on over to call in. And we're going to do that show. And we're going to have people on. We're going to talk. And we're going to have fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, go right on over to call in. Be sure to subscribe. Again, 9 people in there. Want to get more subscribers. Also, be sure to hit the like button on your way out. But yeah, guys, really appreciate it. That is going to do it for me. You guys take care. And I will be live tomorrow. So, later, folks.